most challenging: night attack. It is designed to sneak into enemy airspace undetected and attack pinpoint targets with laser-guided bombs and precision-guided missiles. The F-117 Nighthawk was initially flown by an elite group of pilots of the US Air Force. These pilots were hand-picked, not just because of the secrecy of the project, but due to the demanding nature of night attack flying. At the moment, the Nighthawk is flown by the Air Force's 49th Fighter Wing from its New Mexico Air Base. The unique design of the Nighthawk provides exceptional fight capabilities. The single-seat, dual-engine aircraft has quadruple redundant fly-by-wire flight controls and is air refuelable, able to support US missions around the world. Until the F-117 was publicly unveiled in 1988, the Black Jet was kept under a strict veil of secrecy. The aircraft were flown only at night to prevent spy satellites from viewing their unique shape. The radical design of the Nighthawk would suggest that it's very different to pilot compared to conventional fighters. However, in spite of its unusual design, it flies very much like other fighter aircraft. No matter how technologically advanced an aircraft is, it is never invulnerable. The first combat loss of an F-117 occurred on March the 27th, 1999, during the war in Kosovo. Using old Russian long-wave radars, air defenses were able to track F-117s, particularly when their stealth nature was weakened by excessive moisture or when their bomb bay doors were open. Since the F-117 carries bombs rather than missiles, it seems strange that it is referred to as a stealth fighter. The designation of the Nighthawk as a fighter rather than a bomber is reported to have been done in an attempt to misdirect foreign espionage. The F-117 Nighthawk first saw combat in 1989 during Operation Just Cause in Panama. It has since flown missions in Kosovo and has been deployed in the Middle East in support of Operation Desert Storm and Iraqi freedom. Anticipating the need to incorporate stealth technology into future fighter aircraft, in the 1980s, the US Air Force began the selection process for an advanced tactical fighter, narrowing the selection to two planes, the YF-22 and YF-23. The crucial factor of an aircraft's stealth ability is its shape, whether angular in form as in the Nighthawk or a smooth, sleek design as seen here on the YF-23 Black Widow II. These exotic shapes do not significantly impact on the bomber's effectiveness, since there is not as great a need for speed or maneuverability. But fighters still require both speed and maneuverability, even in the missile age. Unfortunately, including stealth features in fighters dictates sacrifices in their performance. In 1990, the YF-23, despite having a stealthier design, lost out to the YF-22. Renamed the FA-22 Raptor, it was chosen because it was easier to maintain, had greater flexibility for future development, and was cheaper to produce at approximately £100 million per plane. The main attraction of stealth fighters is that in theory, it should be nearly impossible for the enemy to target. This gives a fighter with stealth characteristics the ability to fire many of its long-range radar-guided missiles well before the enemy fighters can even detect its presence. Stealth technology is not a magic potion that makes a plane invisible, but through careful design and combined technologies, the optimum mix of performance and stealthiness can be achieved. and the Raptor has the most stealth features of any new fighter aircraft. The Raptor carries its AIM-120C AMRAAM missiles internally to preserve its stealth qualities. Missiles are launched through hydraulic arms that deploy the AMRAAMs so quickly that the weapon's bay doors are open for less than 1 second per launch. The Raptor can fly supersonically in supercruise mode, reducing fuel consumption and avoiding the high heat signature associated with the use of afterburners. The first FA-22A Raptor was delivered to the US Air Force in January 2003 and entered service in 2004. The Raptor is intended to replace the F-15 Eagle, an aircraft with an undefeated 104-0 fight record. The US Air Force expects the Raptor to continue this impressive record well into the future. The low observability designed into the B-1B bomber made it far less visible to radar than older bombers. In the late 1970s, the US Air Force set out to take the technology further, launching a secret project named Project Senior CJ. The results are evident in this remarkable aircraft, the Northrop B-2 Advanced Technology Bomber, later named the Spirit. The development of the B-2 was one of the best-kept secrets of all Air Force projects. Much about the Spirit remains clouded in secrecy even today, including exact information about the plane's radar cross-section. Similar in size to the older B-52 bomber, the B-2 is likely to be several hundred times less visible to radar. It is impossible to make an aircraft completely invisible to radar. However, its radar cross-section can be reduced to such an extent that its radar reflection cannot be distinguished from normal background radiation. It has been suggested that the B-2 has a frontal radar cross-section similar to that of a large insect, such as a bumblebee. The emphasis on stealth in the development of the B-2 was due to the mission of strategic bombers. The main threat to strategic bombers today is the radar-guided anti-aircraft missile. The features added to the B-1B reduced the effectiveness of radar-directed missiles by decreasing the range at which the bomber could be detected. Such weapons are even less effective against the B-2 bomber. The B-2's stealth features are contained in its unique shape. The B-2 looks very different from the F-117 stealth fighter since it uses more recent stealth technology. The B-2 is essentially a flying wing. Its swept-back configuration has no vertical stabilizers or large tail surfaces to reflect radar energy. Its flight controls in the trailing edge of the wing are computer-controlled for stability. Its engines are hidden in the wings, with their air intakes located on top, where radar cannot easily see. The surfaces of the bomber are covered with advanced RAM to further weaken the reflection of radar from its surfaces. Surprisingly, the Spirit is operated by a crew of 2, compared to 4 in the B-1B bomber. The pilot and commander sit side by side in the cockpit. This significantly reduces the amount of intercom traffic you'd normally have in other large aircraft. The unique engine exhausts on the B-2 bomber and the F-117 fighter reveal another aspect of stealth technology. Since these designs so effectively counter radar detection, an enemy force might be tempted to use other means, such as infrared detection, to determine their location. Some Russian-made fighter jets, such as the MiG-29 and Sukhoi-27, use infrared detectors to supplement their radar and are armed with infrared